Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, and welcome to a new episode of Tony Approve. Okay, you guys, so 2018 has been a great year full of ups, downs, but most of all, good music. So I decided I'm gonna go ahead and bring you guys some of my Tony Approved type major moments that stuck out to me this year. Last year when I did my recap video, I took each month of the year and did a specific event that happened within each month. Episode of Tony Approved. My name is King, and today I will be bringing you guys my 12 favorite moments of music as we come to the end of 2017. This year I decided to just talk about different events because there's some stuff that I wanted to talk about this year that I didn't actually get a chance to cover, so why not cover it now, shall we?
No. Hold tight, I got it. Hold tight. Hold tight, hold tight.
Bitch, come in. Bitch, come in. Bitch, come in.
One to all units. Second floor terrace ASAP. One to all units.
This was one of the most entertaining beefs that I have seen in a minute, you guys. And I think it was the most entertaining for me because I actually follow and like and are fan and is a fan of both artists. I've followed Nicki Minaj since I was in about the 8th grade, and I've been following Cardi ever since she started on Love and Hip Hop. Throughout the whole back and forth of Cardi versus Nicki, you guys, personally, I was Team Cardi, and I'm gonna tell you why. For me, I feel like Cardi B is very authentic. I always call her my Libra sister because me and her, we think a lot alike. We're both very sensitive. We're both very hard workers. And one thing that I can notice about Cardi is she mean what she says what she's mean. And she's real and she's real respectful. And I can relate to that because that's how I am. I try to show the respect to everybody. You know, you have to sometimes swallow your pride when it comes to certain things, when you're trying to get certain things out of life, and you always have to do what's best for you, but at the same time, treat other people how you want to be treated. And that seems to be the mentality that Cardi B is on. On the flip side, I have personally been, like I said, I've been personally following Nicki since the 8th grade. I've always been a supporter of Nicki and her music, and I think at this point now, I'm kind of more of a Hurt fan because in reality, Nicki, you're like 34, 35, Cardi's like 24, 25, and Cardi gives me that she's a real girl, that if you bring her and if you pull her to the side and you talk to her and you tell her, hey Cardi, I have an issue with X, Y, and Z, Cardi's gonna come back and tell you what her problem was. Y'all be able to talk it out. If y'all are able to make it right, y'all can keep it moving positive. If not, you go your way, she go her way, and there's no big issue. And I was confused as to why, if the situation between you two was so bad and was so massive, and Atlantic was trying to create her to be another you and all the rest of that stuff, and you were actually dating Quavo at the time or messing with Quavo at the time, and she's with Offset, they have said that they've sat down and had a real conversation, but I'm really confused as to why it didn't go a little bit better. And plus with Nicki's track record, you can kind of see that it's been kind of consistent when it comes to these issues she's had with all of these females. And that's my main reason for being Team Cardi, because I just feel like if the situation was reversed and there was this new girl coming in and everybody was setting up to be Cardi or do something like that, Cardi would actually go to the female herself and talk to her, see what type of wave she's on. And if she's real and she's not trying to do anything malicious to her, Cardi would just make the best moves of the situation and do her just the same way that Remy did Nicki when she came to her and said, hey, you got to say that you the baddest, you to say you the best to ever do this because that's what everybody's supposed to do. So the same mature route that Remy took for Nicki, Nicki should have took with Cardi, but she didn't. So yeah, but at the end of the day, I hope the best to each of them. With Cardi, I hope she keeps her foot on these niggas' necks throughout 2019. And for Nicki, I really hope that I just hope that she makes better decisions and have a little bit more success at being a little bit more humble, possibly. But that doesn't really seem to be her personality. She seems to just be that boss bitch that this is just how she is. Nicki has showed us who she is consistently throughout the years, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna change, so. But moving right along to Nicki's best friend, Miss Ariana Grande, who I absolutely love, you guys. Ariana actually got her first #1 single this year with her song Thank You Next. Thank You Next is such a great song, you guys.
One taught me love. Thank you next.
You can use it to help you get over any type of negative situation, whether it's relationship or just looking back at your life and realizing, dang, I really actually was able to overcome this. So I really actually was going through all of this, and I really thought that this situation was gonna be the best thing for me, and it wasn't.
thank you. Next.
Just the hook of it can really help you move past a negative situation onto a better one, whether it has to deal with people or a different situation that you're going through personally, or different obstacles that you're going through personally. Not only was this a great track, you guys, Ariana really put out a really great album this year. I already talked about Sweetener. I'll leave the comments down in the comment section for the link to my review for it. But Sweetener is really a great album, and for me it ended up having an even deeper meaning because it was actually released 1 month before I lost my father. And throughout that whole process, it was very traumatic for me, and it was something that was sudden, but it took place over a series of days. And while he was going through that process, while we were dealing with his medical issues, I was heavily listening to Ariana Grande's Sweetener, because I remember her saying in the interview, it's supposed to bring light and joy to the listener, and I was definitely going through something major. So I really needed that type of uplifting in music. I'm so thankful that she did 2 singles at the same time with Breathing and Thank You Next, because Breathing has actually become one of my favorite songs off of the album. It's hard to say that because I really like Sweetener and Successful. Shoot, I like the whole album. But sometimes you have to tell yourself, just keep breathing. You will get through the situation. And sometimes I find myself so stressed that all I have to do is I have to remind myself, okay, take a deep breath. And most of the time, you guys, I'm telling you, if you're going through some type of situation, or you're stressing, or you're trying to move from your day-to-day, everyday hustle, just take like 3 or 4 good deep breaths, and it helps to kind of regulate you. And that's what that song reminds me of. It's interesting though to watch how the universe works, because her first single was No Tears Left to Cry, which actually, let's back up a little bit further than that. This whole album seems to be inspired from the tragic events that happened at her Manchester concert, and the fact that she was able to get with Pete Davidson to bring light into her life. She released her song No Tears Left to Cry, and then she went through a situation where she lost Mac Miller and her engagement, but then turned around and got a #1 hit single. And that's just how the universe works. Sometimes it takes the worst of your situation and give you the best of it at the same time. And I'm very thankful and happy that Ariana got this #1 hit. I'm excited to see where she goes. Her tour is gonna start next year. I believe it starts in March, if I'm not mistaken. So if she's coming to a city near you guys, make sure you definitely check her out. I'm hoping that we get more #1s from Ariana Grande coming up in 2019, and another great album, because she did say that Thank You Next was a single with an album. Now, Bruno Mars' video for Finesse. I remember when that video dropped, I actually watched it at 12 o'clock because they dropped it as kind of like a surprise, him and Cardi. If I'm not mistaken, it was the very first Friday of 2018. They dropped a music video for it, and this was my very first thing in music that got me excited, because I remember as the year started, I said, I wonder what's gonna happen. I wonder who's gonna drop something that's gonna make me excited first. And it turned out to be Bruno Mars' video. I love music videos, you guys. I can watch, if this is a good music video, I can watch it 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times a day. Not a day, but probably within a month. We are living, hey, single. Wait. Wrong show. So to see him paying homage to In Living Color, which is a show that was very cemented in our culture. Not only that, he had Cardi on the record, and it was a really great look for her. And it's crazy because looking at Cardi from that video to the other videos that she's put out throughout the year, you get to see her versatility and her looks and how she's able to carry herself with different styles of music. So it's really actually nice. Of course, Bruno Mars was dropping those fire-ass vocals on the song. He did his dancing thing, and Bruno Mars, he's another one. Ariana Grande and Bruno Mars are 2 artists that I'm just like, this next generation of legends, definitely they're gonna be both at the top of the list. I hope Bruno Mars gives us a new album coming out in 2019 with other great videos. I know some people were saying that they possibly thought he was cultural appropriation with his video. I don't feel like he was cultural appropriation, because he said where he got the inspiration from, and he wasn't putting it off like it was his own. So as long as we're inspiring these great artists and they're saying that they get it from our culture, hey, that's all we need. I would say that Creed is one of the best soundtracks that was released this year. I haven't heard a lot of them, but for me personally, it was one of the best. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's full of motivational music. You guys, I haven't actually seen the movie. I know, don't judge me, but I listened to the soundtrack, which was produced by Mike Will, who also produced tracks like Beyonce's Formation and Nicki Minaj's Good Form. A lot of top artists on the soundtrack. Standout motivational songs would be like Kill 'Em With Success, The Fight, The Mantra. You can definitely listen to those songs to get you going in the morning. As the album as a whole, other standout tracks, I definitely like the intro with that Amen, 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 amen. If I'm not mistaken, that's how that goes. It was a real clean way to introduce the album. Kind of remind me a little bit of Meek Mill's introduction for his new album. Like the fact that Wayne came in, spent his 5 talk like he always do. We got Nas and Rick Ross on a track called Check, and it's just inspiring me to make my checks and to check off all of the things that make me great throughout the day. It was nice to hear from Crime Mob again. That song actually has a little bit of a sound like "Look if you book, hey, look if you book," or that type of fighting type sound. So it was nice to add them to the soundtrack. Running is a nice track. I like to hear Nicki Minaj and A$AP Ferg together on the track. As a fan, I've always been a fan of Feature Nicki. That's been my favorite version of her, so I always like her on Feature. So she definitely did her thing on that track. And then the last song on the album, last song on the soundtrack is a song with LMA, and it was A, you can hear that it sounds like a credit song, but B, it was a nice closing song at the end. It kind of brings you back down, and it's nice to hear her voice because she actually brought her sound to that song, and it was a nice R&B ending to such a great motivational soundtrack. Speaking of another great soundtrack, we definitely can't leave 2018 without talking about Black Panther and the impact that it had. Now, I actually saw that movie several times. Of course, if you guys don't know, Black Panther soundtrack was produced by Kendrick Lamar. Now, with that particular soundtrack, unfortunately, it didn't resonate with me as much personally as Creed's soundtrack did, but I'm thankful that it had as much success as it did. It debuted at #1 on the Billboard Top 200. It was there for at least 3 weeks, and it has been Grammy nominated for Album of the Year and a score soundtrack for a visual. Actually nominated at the Grammys. This is definitely a great look. Really happy to see this movie and this album get all of the attention it needs, because us as Black people, we need more great films and great projects like Black Panther to keep motivating us and keep pushing us forward. And while we're talking about pushing us forward, shout out to Nike, because they definitely gave Colin Kaepernick. They decided to stand with Colin Kaepernick this year, and that's important because I wear Nikes all the time anyways. While we're talking about the Grammys, Grammy nominated artist Chole and Halle, that is so nice to say. They are Beyonce's artists, and they have had a really great year, you guys. I saw them twice. I saw them when I went to Coachella, and I saw them when they opened up for Beyonce and Jay-Z on the On the Run 2 tour. They released their album this year, which I did a review for. Definitely leave the link down in the bottom for you guys to check out. But now we can actually say that they're Grammy nominated artists. They're nominated for Best New Artist and Best Urban Contemporary Album. Hopefully they win Best New Artist, because the Carters are nominated in Best Urban Contemporary, and I need them to go ahead and snag that. But they are definitely Best New Artist Grammy worthy for that category. Their vocals are amazing. They write all their stuff, they produce it. Their album is great. They're under 20 and I'm 27, and I can actually relate to the music that they're putting out, and it's so forward and so well-rounded that that it doesn't matter what your age is, you can relate to them. They do amazing, great live performances, you guys. They were recently on the Late Night Show, and Jimmy Fallon performing their songs Everywhere and Down. I'll leave those links down in the comment section for you guys to check out, because those performances slayed. I am very interested to see what Chole and Halle are going to bring us for 2019. They're really milking their album, and I'm really thankful to see that, because their album is so great. And I sometimes hate when artists jump from one project right to the next when they put out a really great project. No, milk that music. It is art. Get everything you can out and solidify it in its time period that it came out, so we'll always remember this time. Make sure you guys check them out on Grownish. They're going to be featured on the new season that starts January 3rd. Definitely can't leave 2018 without talking about Childish Gambino's video for This Is America. Now, this is another great music video, and one of the top videos that I feel was released in 2018. With this particular video, you guys, I'm very conscious, awake, spiritual. So I'm very aware of what's going on in the world. And I feel like this video was an excellent capture of America and what it is at its core, reflected back to them in a music video. I personally can't watch this video over and over and over and over and over again because it's so much going on. It kind of affects me a little bit emotionally. It's definitely a great music video. It's Grammy nominated actually for Best Music Video, which is in a category with Ape Shit. So either one of those can definitely go ahead and take that category. 4 million views on YouTube. It hit the #1 Hot 100 spot. So good luck to Childish Gambino with 2019. Make sure you bring us another jaw-dropping video. We definitely can't leave talking about 2018 without talking about the different individuals that we lost this year, like the mother of Diddy's daughters, XXXTentacion, Mac Miller, Antana, and several others, you guys. Grief is no joke. I know we're talking about pop culture and we look at these people as icons and examples and motivation for us to chase our dreams, but at the end of the day, you guys, these are still people, and grief is nothing to play with. Trust me, I know, speaking from personal experience. Make sure you guys are sending out your prayers to everyone's family who's lost someone this year in the industry. I definitely will make sure that I will be too. And just make sure you guys love and support your artists, you guys, because just like friends, they could be here one day and gone the next. Hopefully in 2019, we'll see more awareness brought to mental health and drug overdosing and different things of that nature. On a lighter note, you guys, I want to talk about Coachella. God blessed me to really meet Beyonce at Coachella. Let's go. And you guys, Coachella was a life-changing event for me. First of all, because A, it's history in the making. In 25 years from now, I'm gonna be able to say Beyonce performed at Coachella as the first Black woman, and she made history. And guess where I was? Sitting in the freaking front row, watching. Not only to see Beyonce, but to see all the different artists, all of the people that I met in California. California is just a different vibe, you guys. You can be yourself. You don't have to worry about what other people are thinking or saying, and it's just so nice and so free. If you haven't been to Coachella or any type of music festival, make sure you go, especially if you're a music lover. I love all of the sights I got to see. That's completely different because, you guys, I'm from Florida, so I don't see mountains and spinning wheels and all the rest of that stuff. So it's so nice to see such a great trip. I definitely want to go back to Coachella again one year. Hopefully the lineup is as sickening as it was for my first time. One show I will be going to in 2019 is Miss Toni Braxton, who's going on tour for her album Sex and Cigarettes. If you guys don't know, she dropped her album earlier this year. It's just an 8-track album, and it actually is Grammy nominated for Best R&B Album and Best R&B Performance for Longest I Live. The album is Toni approved, you guys. It is really great. It's a short album. It's a lot of slower songs. The most standout tracks, honestly, are Longest I Live and this other track called Missing, to me. But you can definitely listen to it. You can about listen to that album about 3 times because it's so short, and the first track and the last track are actually so good that you just started over. I actually didn't like Deadwood when it came out as a single, but when it came out for the album, it actually sounded better. So I like it all the way through. This is going to be nice to see Toni Braxton on tour. This is my first time seeing her live. I think it's very important we have to see all of our living legends while they're here. The show I'm going to will be on January the 19th, and it will be her first concert, you guys. So I'll definitely vlog for that, and I'll definitely bring you guys all of my opinions on her performance. If you haven't checked out Sex and Cigarettes, make sure you guys check it out. You guys, it's pure natural R&B music, and she's one of the major trendsetters in R&B. Trust me, anybody that can sing and hold a microphone way down here and you still hear the projection, trust me, legend. Trust me, legend. While we're talking about R&B, you guys, I want to talk about some people who made some major impacts in R&B this year, like Ella Mai, who put out a project. Now, Ella Mai has been putting out music previously before her album she released this year, but this was the first album from her I actually listened, and it is a really great album, you guys. It's great from top to bottom. It's hard for me to pick standout tracks on that album because all of the tracks go so well together. I actually don't have a song that she possibly could have left off, which is a great thing to say because most of the time when I'm listening to an album, I'm always listening to see, okay, is there at least one song that you really could have left off that I'm really not vibing from? I had to pick some type of standout track. Definitely Sauce. I like that. I got too much sauce. I like that. That's definitely a nice swaggy song, something to listen to in the morning. Like Good Bad, I like those lyrics for that. I like her sample that she gave us with the t-shirt and no panties on. I like that sample for Own It, Own Me, whatever the name of that song is. One thing I can give her as a critique is that she definitely doesn't have enough harmonies in her music for her album. It's very flat and it's very on the same level. Her uses a lot of octaves and a lot of harmonies in her music throughout her projects. They actually collaborated together on a song called Gut Feeling, which I really like the song a lot because it reminds me to trust my intuition, and that at the end of the day, most of the time your intuition won't lead you wrong if you have a pure heart and you're having pure intentions. So always trust your intuition. Her is another artist I would like to talk about that was making major moves. She dropped 2 projects this year. They were preludes to mini albums. I actually talked about part 1 in a previous video. I'll leave the link in the comment section. But the second part I actually like a little bit better. This one is a little bit more stripped down. It's a lot of piano ballads and a lot of guitar, so it has a little bit more of acoustic sound. Standout tracks on that album definitely for me would be Can't Help Me, I'm Not Okay, Hard Place, The Lord Is Coming. And for this particular, one thing I like about this particular EP that she put, or this particular album that she put out, is you can listen to it when you're not having a good day, when you're feeling kind of down and sad, and it don't depress you. Her music is so therapeutic that it kind of helps you get, from me at least, it helps me release the emotions without releasing the emotions and still feeling down. By the end of it, I feel like, okay, I could listen to something a little bit more uplifting now because I got all the negativity out without feeling super depressed. Her is an amazing artist. Like I said, she has great live vocals. I love her spoken word / poeticness that she adds to her tracks, and she's a nice addition to R&B music. She has a nice sound. She's able to do the stoner type Janae Aiko music, swaggy R&B, and she's able to do this acoustic stuff with messages behind her music. So I really, really like that. Definitely can't leave without talking about Miss Kelly Rowland, who dropped her song Kelly. I am excited to see what Kelly Rowland is gonna do for 2019. You guys, we need a new Kelly Rowland album. Hey, Kelly, we need a new Kelly Rowland album.
Kelly got bands, Kelly got a check, Kelly got a house, big house on.
Talk a good game. It's been way too long since since that album came out. I'm not sure why we didn't get a video that was dropped at the same time with her track Kelly. I'm gonna put a link down in the description if you haven't heard the song already. I'm assuming that Kelly might not actually be signed because I noticed on Tidal when her track comes up, it actually comes up under the name Kelly Rowland at the bottom. So it might have just been a track that she put out there for us. But yeah, Kelly, we need videos. We need this era to be pushing and moving forward because Kelly, which is the name of the song that she released, her new single, is a nice bop. For me personally, I be changing the lyrics and making it work for me, but I definitely love that song and listen to it every morning. Last but not least, you guys, I want to definitely give a shout out to Drake and Meek Mill for ending their beef. I know Meek Mill recently said in an interview that they've actually ended their beef probably and been talking to each other for probably like a year, but he's not on no fake phony stuff, and he wanted to make sure that they announced it to the world in a very proper way. I like the fact that Drake invited him on stage for him. That's just a good look for us, you guys. These are 2 great male role models that we have, you guys, and as mature adults, the Cardi and Nicki beef was fun and the beefs are fun, but we need to see people making amends. We need to see people working together, moving forward, especially because us as a culture have to continue to move forward if we're going to succeed. Hopefully we continue to see more people make amends throughout 2019 and continue to move us forward, you guys. It's all about positivity. The world is negative enough. We don't need to be adding that to the music. 2018 was a great year for Tony Approved. And hopefully it was a great year for you guys too. I want you guys to jump down in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about the different highlights that I pulled from this year. What stood out this year to you guys? I definitely want to know. Hit me up on my social media, either on Twitter, on Instagram, and we can definitely have a conversation about it. I'm always interested to know what people are listening to and what's inspiring people, because you guys, I'm only one person and I like a lot of different things. I like a lot of music, but I don't know everything and I don't listen to everything. And sometimes it only takes that one good person to say, hey, that one person that you trust, that you know has a good ear for music and ain't gonna listen to no garbage stuff, for you to say, hey, check this out. And you be like, I never really listened to this artist, but I'll go ahead and check them out. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you guys can be updated on everything that's coming your way from Tony Approved in 2019. You guys, let's get it this year. Like Cardi B say, we not stopping until we've accomplished all of our goals.
Bitch, I did a vision board, and I'm not gonna rest until I get all that shit that I put in it by the end of 2019. And no stank breath, ashy foot, pinky black, toenail, bitch, all niggas gonna get in my motherfucking way. You heard? With the help of God, bitch, we going to motherfucking make it. You heard? You heard? Ow.
Get it, get it, get it, get it. Stay motivated, stay doing what you need to do, and stay watching Tony Approved. Until next time, God bless.